Hi, I'm Kira. Welcome to my channel. This week I'm going to be swapping my phone screen time for reading. I wanted to do this for months, but I'm finally doing it. Today's Sunday, so I'm doing Sunday to Saturday. So today's Sunday, so I'm going to look at last Sunday's screen time and read for that time today. And I'll set a timer. And I thought it was a good week to do this because last week my screen time had some acceptable screen time amount and some screen time amount that I'm not proud of. So my average screen time for last week was 4 hours and 50 minutes. We are going to start with last Sunday's time, and that is 5 hours and 38 minutes. So I'll be reading for 5 hours and 38 minutes today. And the first book I'm going to be reading is City of Ashes by Cassandra Clare, the second book in the Mortal Instruments. As for the timer, I'm going to start the timer when I start reading, and then I'll pause it if I take a longer than 5-minute break. So, let's get to reading. It's a lot later now. I have read for almost an hour and a half so far. I have 4 hours and 21 minutes left. In that time, I have read 52 pages. I forgot to mention in the intro that typically I read an hour to 3 hours a day. So some of these days are like double what I normally read in a day. So that might be a little more difficult for me because I still have 4.5 hours left basically. And it's already 3 o'clock. It is now 8:25 p.m. So it's been a bit. I still have 2 hours and 37 minutes I have to read for today. I tend to go to bed between the hours of 10 and 11. Rarely do I stay up until midnight. This is where this challenge gets hard. I'm now on chapter 7, page 118 of City of Ashes. I read a bit more. And then I also started Mile High by Liz Tomford on my phone on Kindle Unlimited, and I read the first 2 chapters of that. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to read this for another hour, and then I'm going to do something that might be a bad idea and might make me fail today's part of the challenge, but for the last hour and a half I think I'm going to get in bed and read Mile High some more on my Kindle, because that's what I usually do before I go to bed, but then I end up falling asleep while I'm reading. So that is the plan for the last 2.5 hours of reading tonight, and I will update you how I did in the morning. It's the next day. It's now Monday, and it's currently 1 o'clock. Last night I kind of failed on my reading time for yesterday. No, okay, I had 35 minutes left for yesterday's time. And like I said I was going to do last night, I got into bed, I started reading Mile High, then the time hit 11 p.m. and I was out. I could not, for the life of me, keep my eyes open. I might add an extra 35 minutes onto the shortest time to make up for that, but we'll see. Anyways, yesterday I read a good chunk of City of Ashes, 175 pages. And then I think I read 60-ish pages of Mile High yesterday. So I read about an hour's worth of Mile High yesterday, and then I read about 4 hours worth of City of Ashes. The screen time for Monday last week was just 1 minute less than yesterday's. So today I'm going to be reading for 5 hours and 37 minutes instead of 5 hours and 38 minutes. I think I'm going to go eat first, and then I'll get started on my reading for today. Okay, so I did in fact read for exactly an hour, and then I took a nap for an hour. I think I'm gonna move this party outside for a bit. Tuesday. I unfortunately did fail yesterday as well on my reading time. I took a screenshot last night before I went to bed. I ended with almost 2 hours left on my time, so I only read for about 3.5 hours yesterday. I think after the last time I talked to you, I may have read for another hour, hour and a half, and then my headache got worse. I was not feeling good. I did not want to read anymore, so I stopped. But I'm feeling great now. It is now 3:20 p.m. I have finished all my work and all my responsibilities for the day, so I have the rest of the night to do this reading. I only have 3 hours and 9 minutes I have to read. One way or another, this book will be finished by tonight. I think I can do it in the last 3 hours. I have about 130 pages left. I'm on chapter 16, page 322. I just have that little last chunk to get through. We're done. I don't know if I want to jump into City of Glass next or take a break from the series. I haven't read any more of Mile High, so maybe I'll do that tonight and then pick up a new physical book tomorrow. We'll see. I'll let you know how it goes. I did it. I completed my reading time from yesterday. And then some. I read for my 3 hours and I think it was 9 minutes. And then I had, I think, 25 pages left of City of Ashes, so I just went ahead and finished that. And then I read a few more chapters of Mile High while I was going to bed. I have a guest here. He doesn't care. So, I have finished City of Ashes, which is great. So last night I did my 3 hours and 9 minutes, and then the extra time I did was about 40-ish minutes, so I'm counting that as making up time from Sunday that I didn't do. So I still have the 2 hours from yesterday that I'm going to try to make up tomorrow. But today, this is a little bit on the higher side. This is almost 5 hours. Today I have to read for 4 hours and 42 minutes. I think it's possible. I don't have too much I have to do for the rest of the day. It is currently 11:52 a.m. This morning I've been thinking if I wanted to jump right into City of Glass, the next book in the Mortal Instruments, or if I wanted to take a break from fantasy and do a romance. And I decided to go with the romance because I haven't read that much romance this month in March. I mean, obviously I'm reading Mile High and that's a romance, but I want a physical romance. So I'm going with a romance book that was on my March TBR that I haven't gotten to yet, and it was a new release for this month, and also one of my most anticipated reads for 2023, and that is The Love Wager by Lynn Painter. This is also just under 300 pages, so I'm hoping since it's that short and since it's a romance, that maybe I'll be able to finish it today with my almost 5 hours. I think it's doable. This is my pick for the day, and let's go start the timer. About 2.5 hours. I have 1 hour and 49 minutes left to go, and I am already basically halfway through this book. I'm flying through this. Time feels like it's going so fast. It is safe to say that I will definitely be finishing this book today because I am loving it and I don't want to stop reading it. I will update you again probably when the time is done for today. Yesterday, Thursday, I did complete my time. I completed it a little late in the night though, so that's why I didn't update anymore. But I did, and I went about 40 minutes over. So I read about 2 hours worth of City of Glass. I'm on page 94, and that is only the start of chapter 5. These books have such long chapters. And then I read about an hour's worth of Mile High before I went to bed. Another day down. I have 2 left, but these 2 are the longest days. Today, I have to read for 6 hours and 24 minutes. I really don't want to. My goal is to get at least another 200 pages read in this. And if I get more done in this, then that's great. It's very much later. Here for the last update of the night. It is currently 9:21 p.m. and I've only read for about an hour and a half today. I just was not in the mood to pick a book right today. Like, today was not the day. The Taylor Swift Eras Tour updates got me. They got me good tonight. And then she just had to go and sing Sad, Beautiful, Tragic as a surprise song. Happy for those who were there, but wish I was there as well. I read about 80 pages today. I fully intended to read for this full 6 hours, but I started way later than I should have. I got distracted with other things, and like I said, I'm just not in the mood to read today. You know, it's just that kind of day for me. I might read Mile High for a bit before I go to bed. That's a big might. And if I do, it'll probably just be like 1 chapter. I'm just gonna stop the timer right now because I have 4 hours and 40 minutes left and that's not happening tonight. So I'm just gonna, you know what? Stop it. It's done for today. It is in fact not Saturday, it is Sunday. Yesterday I picked up City Glass. I read 3 pages and then I put it back down. I was just not in the mood to read yesterday. And then I just read a chapter of Mile High before I went to bed. So I didn't even attempt to start the timer for yesterday. So I'm doing it today instead. And today's time is 5 hours and 43 minutes. The second longest day, almost 6 hours again. I did get my screen time notification this morning and it went down 10% from last week. So improvement, I guess. I just wanted to update. It is currently 7:32 p.m. and I do still have basically 4 hours left of reading. I'm just not totally in a reading mood today, but I am in a very good spot in City of Glass, so I feel like I'll be able to get through a lot more tonight. I don't think I'm going to finish out the rest of my time for tonight. So my goal is I'm going to sit down, I'm going to read, and I'm going to try to get to 10 o'clock and then decide if I want to push through for another hour. I probably won't update again tonight, but I'll do a little recap tomorrow and that'll be the end of this little challenge. So it is now Monday. Last night I unfortunately did not do all my time. I had 2 hours left exactly. I had 4 unsuccessful days where I didn't complete the entire time I was supposed to be reading, but on my other days I did complete it. I also went over the time. One day went over it a lot by I think 2 or 3 hours. So I'm gonna call this week pretty successful. I read a lot more than I probably would have if I wasn't doing this challenge. This week during this challenge I read 2 full books, over half of 1 book, and about 150 pages of another book. So the first book I read and finished this week was City of Ashes. Completely started and finished it this week. And then I picked up The Love Wager by Lynn Painter, and I read this in 1 day. So this is the one that I went over my time by a lot. And then the last 3 days I've been reading City of Glass. And I got to page 315-ish. And then almost every day, I think, before I went to bed, I read a chapter or 2 of Mile High by Liz Tomford. And I'm at page 150 or something of the Kindle version, because the Kindle version is 600 pages, and I don't think the physical copy is that long. So I read 158 pages out of 603 pages of the Kindle version of this book. I'm calling this successful because if I didn't do this challenge, then it would have taken me probably an extra 2 weeks to read the 2 Shadowhunters books, and I do plan on finishing this within the next couple days. that was this challenge, and I plan to do it again. I don't know when I'll do it again, but I do want to try to be successful every day. That's it for this video, and I guess I'll see you in the next one.